What's up, YouTube? I wanted to give you guys an update, the 90-gallon Reef, and talk a little bit about what's been going on since the last update. If you've been following my videos, you would know that I had a Chlorpa go asexual in my tank and basically released so many nutrients that my display looked like it was going through a cycle again. And so I didn't know what kind of steps to take to help, get the tank back to its normal parameters. Water changes seemed like they really weren't helping that well. I mean, they were helping, but they weren't doing the trick, I should say. So I decided to go with Biopellets. Now, I did notice a big drastic change in my glass. My glass has been staying very, very clean, and that's a big plus because you want your snails to work on your rock and not so much on your glass. So just to talk a little bit about what's been going on down below and show you how I set up my BioPellet reactor. As you know, I'm running a GFO reactor. I have an activated carbon reactor, and I have the last one running the BioPellets. And you can kind of see the tumble that I got going on. It's moving it pretty good, but it's still gentle enough not to throw the pellets up towards the top of the reactor. They're staying nice and level, and that's what you want, guys. It's coming down, being fed through my manifold, and then it's being returned through this line here, which travels across here and goes back down in my skimmer section, and is being released in front of my skimmer. I did notice a little bit of change in my skimmate. I went from a dry to a wet. That's probably due to the biofilm that's being released from the biopellets. So it really doesn't concern me too much. As long as I'm pulling something out, I should be fine. And as long as it stinks as bad as it does, it's definitely fine. Just to talk about how I began dosing the tank with the biopellets. Now, I'm using MPX Bioplastics by Two Little Fishies. It recommends 400 milliliters for a 100-gallon system. So if your tank's high in nitrate, it also recommends to begin introducing the biopellets with half the dosage, which would be 200 milliliters in my case. But I took a further step and only introduced 25%, which is 100 milliliters. So for the first week, I was running 100 milliliters, and the second week, I added another 100 milliliters, which got me up to about a 50-gallon dosage. And I'd have to say I've noticed a considerable change in my tank. I mean, everything looks good. The rock's clearing up real nice. The glass has been staying clean. That's basically what you want from it. None of my corals bleached, so that's a good thing. It's one of the things you got to worry about with adding too many biopellets. It can actually strip your tank. But the other bad thing is the bacterial bloom that can cause cyanobacteria. Now, even though I introduced it nice and slow, I still developed some here in my media chamber. I did put some rubble rock in there to kind of help the bacteria, the good beneficial bacteria growth inside this section, to kind of help get rid of that cyano, because I definitely don't want to try scrubbing it out and then it gets loose into the system and it begins to grow inside my display. So I'm kind of just letting it die off on its own. It's usually the best thing to do, guys. If you can siphon it out safely, siphon it out. If not, just leave it alone, because then it'll spread out throughout your tank. A couple other noticeable changes was the ORP in my tank. My tank usually stayed at about 400, and it dropped down to about 325 with the use of the biopellets. Now, that's because it's carbon dosing. Denitrifying bacteria will actually lower the ORP. That's where the whole hydrogen sulfide thing comes in with the reactor. But it's easily to help rebound ORP. I removed the lid, of course, and I'm getting plenty of surface agitation with my MP40s, and the overflow and stuff like that. So the ORP is being stable. I leave the window open sometimes. You got to be careful, especially now in winter. Can't leave the window open too much, but I'll leave the window open enough to get some gas exchange from the room, so the tank can get its gas exchange as well. So besides that, guys, I really don't notice any negative side effects from using the biopellets. The only thing that really happened to me was I got a little bit of a coralline die-off, which isn't too bad. I don't know if that's due to the biopellets or due to something else, my dosing or something. But my calcium's been nice and steady at 420. I do automatic dose with the BRS dosing pumps. So not sure if the biopellets were the cause of the coralline algae die-off, but you can see that bright spot where it's turning white. That's really the only spot where it's dying. The rest of the rock, you can see, still has a lot of purple on it, but it's good. So this is just what's going on. This is a 2-week update. I got 50 gallons worth of biopellets in my reactor, and it's a 100-gallon system, and I think it's doing more than it should at half the dosage. So I'm probably just going to leave it like this for now, guys, and see how it goes. If the tank clears up and the tank's nice and clean, I'm probably not going to be adding anymore. So it's just let you know how well the biopellets are working out for me, guys. Happy reefing.